Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, digital transformation champions, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke, and this podcast is brought to you by Digital Training Institute. In this episode, I explore how our own uniqueness might just be the secret sauce to being successful online. Coming up in the show, in social media news, Google builds Stamp to compete with Snapchat, Tinder-style matching service comes to LinkedIn, and multiple photos in posts also coming to LinkedIn. I interview US best-selling author, entrepreneur, and business growth expert Trevor Crane. In shoutouts, 3 ways to shine online as yourself. Ask JSB in JSB's column, why be somebody else when your uniqueness is you? And find out what social media tool saved my working week.
Social media news.
I love it when the social networks get all bullish and try to win favour over each other with us social media enthusiasts. So, the latest battle is Google versus Snapchat. It's reported this week that the Goliath of the search engines is working on a mobile media app called Stamp to rival Snapchat's Discover service. Trying to stamp their authority in the social media space, Google has not done too well so far. So, what are the commentators making of this one? The Telegraph in the UK reports that Stamp evolved from media relationships Google already has with publishers around AMP, accelerated mobile pages. AMP loads media content on mobile much faster. According to the Wall Street Journal, who are quoting a Google source, the success of the open source AMP project is down to the constant collaboration with publishers that involves working early on upcoming features. Let's watch this space with interest. I'd love your thoughts. Let's talk about it on Snapchat. Snap me to JSB Snap. It's been described as Tinder meets LinkedIn, the new mentoring matching service they announced last week. I'm a mentor to business owners and marketing professionals, and I also have my own mentors. So I think it's a super step by LinkedIn to launch this free service matching users looking for mentorship with potential mentors. Plus, it's super relevant to professional networking and not something another social network would launch. Okay, who knows about that, especially where Facebook is concerned. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this works. Mentors and mentees will be able to select parameters for matching within your network, within your area, or from your old university or college. Once a match occurs, you can then message each other. LinkedIn also points out that either side can end the relationship at any time. The service is being rolled out first in San Francisco and also in Australia, so I guess we will just have to wait until the rest of the world gets it. Staying with LinkedIn, you can now add more than just one photo to your posts on the professional networking site. Often late to the social media feature party, this feature has been on Facebook and Twitter for some time and was added to Instagram 6 months ago. Photos are highly engaging on social, and the swipe function on mobile provides a really nice experience for the user. Remember that LinkedIn is still our professional go-to social network. So utilise this new feature to showcase highlights from an event, previews of new company product designs, or key takeaways from a presentation. Have a look at my multiple photo shares on my LinkedIn profile. You can find me at Joanne Sweeney-Burke.
Interview.
In today's show, I'm delighted to be joined from the United States by Trevor Crane. Trevor is a best-selling author, speaker, and business growth expert. He works a lot with authors, speakers, coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs.
JSB Talks Digital.
Trevor Crane, you're very welcome to JSB Talks Digital. And after 3 attempts, I'm so delighted that I finally have you on my show.
Well, I'm excited to be here too. I was getting to the point where it was like I was at you ever go on a date and then somebody doesn't show up and then you're sitting there all alone drinking water and having bread That was 3 times, or maybe this is 3 times. I don't know. But I mean, apparently you really were trying hard to get here, and I'm happy to be here, and I'm excited for your audience because I know we're going to have a lot of fun today, but we're going to talk about cool stuff that they can use. And since you told me you are working on a book right now, and I'm throwing it out there if everybody didn't know yet that you are working on a book, then hopefully what we're going to talk about today is going to help you move that forward and impact more people.
Great. So I've done some research on you, but my listeners may not have. So to start off, tell us a little bit about your backstory. And I particularly love your honest timeline on your website. You've had many ups and downs, like I guess any entrepreneur.
Well, I think my wife was teasing me the other day that if you look at my Facebook profile description, something I put in there years ago that I was born a poor black child. And if you could see me on video right now, you can tell that I'm white as a ghost. So that doesn't make any sense unless you've seen the Steve Martin movie where he was, that's what he said at the beginning of the movie, the jerk. Hilarious, where he's a dumb, idiot white guy that was a jerk. And he's raised by a family of black people. But I wasn't raised by a family of black people, so it doesn't make any sense either. Okay, I grew up in Phoenix, Arizona. My father was a horseshoer. Still is, by the way, and he's been doing that for a number of years. He's celebrating his 70th birthday this year, and that's still his profession. And I don't know if you guys know this, depending on what part of the world you're in, but a horseshoer doesn't necessarily make a ton of money. So I grew up struggling. Now, I got by when everything was going with when I was a little kid, and my parents were still together. But when they split up, we had all the challenges of poorness that seemed to happen shortly thereafter. So I grew up with a little bit of a desire to have more than nothing. You know, I felt like my next door neighbors gave us more Christmas presents than our family did. And I lived in a decent community, and I have great parents, and they tried their hardest, God bless them, but I had some challenges. So I'm now embarrassed that at the time I was embarrassed that my mom made my clothes. Like, she didn't have enough money and she was kind of creative, so she made her clothes. And so I felt like the poor kid, like, my mommy made my clothes. and now I'm just embarrassed that I was such a little jackass that I didn't respect the fact that she was that cool to be able to do something like that, but whatever. Let me see. To give you more relevance, though, to today's session, I am really passionate now about helping people with books. And I come to that not because I'm a genius and not because I was a born author. I struggled for 20 years to publish my first book. Now, what that means, struggle is an achiever's word. The truth is that was failing. I failed for over 20 years of saying I'm going to write a book. I told people about it. Sometimes I'm writing a book. I even created a discipline of getting up every day and writing early in the morning or keeping a journal at night. And I talked to my mommy. I was actually in my 30s when this happened. I said, Mom, because she was a good writer. And I thought, you can help me, hold me accountable to getting a book written. By the way, that didn't work. So for years, I just couldn't figure out how to get it done. And it wasn't until I was running my own podcast. And for those of you who haven't subscribed to this podcast, you totally should, because it's badass. But my podcast is called Greatness Quest. And I was interviewing a friend and a mentor of mine who'd published books. And I'd heard his story before, but it wasn't until I spoke with him I felt really stupid, because I'd not yet published my book or books. I had different manuscripts that I thought were cool and cute and fun and funny, and they were fiction, nonfiction, you name it. But none of them very good. None of them to the point where I would publish. And Mike, my friend and mentor, didn't publish his first book until he was going through cancer. And he was going through the challenge of cancer and going through chemo treatments. And so between the time that his hair was falling out and he was vomiting into a bucket every day, when he felt enough clarity of mind that he wasn't like freaking out about what he was leaving behind for his family, and he was looking at his son and his wife and his clients and his business and saying, what am I leaving behind? This sucks. He pulled out his phone, and in that hour of clarity a day when he wasn't sick, he told his story. And that story, that book, that the transcript was turned into his first book. And that book became a best-selling book. And that book turned into the business behind that and earned him over 7 figures. And then he did it again. And then he did it again. He actually wrote 3 books on what it could have been his deathbed. He wasn't quite sure. And my excuses that I had, and I have a lot of them, I didn't know enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. What am I? I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to format. I didn't know how to publish. I didn't know how to become a bestseller. I didn't know how to build my brand. I didn't know who the hell is ever going to want to listen to me, because I'm just this dumb, the positive things our unconscious mind tell ourselves. I'm like this not smart guy. I'm thinking the son of a horseshoer. Who am I? And then when I got successful, or what I thought was successful in business, I'm like, why didn't I didn't have the time. Now I've got too many clients. I'm too busy. I don't have time to write a book because I don't know how to do it. And I thought it would take a lot of time, a whole bunch of BS excuses. Whereas Mike found a way in the middle of his busy life and his busy schedule, and one of the most trying times you can ever possibly be going through. And so I did the hard thing at the time, which is actually the easiest thing, but for some guys especially, I think we're just so dumb. We don't pull over and ask for directions. We got to figure it out ourselves, right? So, but I swallowed my ego, I swallowed my pride, and I had to get over the fact that books seemed easy. I'm like, okay, it's words on a page. I know how to write. I see it. Any idiot can publish a book. Well, apparently not this guy, not without help. And so I asked Mike to be my mentor. And I took his course and program, and I got around a community of people who supported me. And lo and behold, I published my first book. And I didn't just publish a book myself. I wanted my wife to publish a book. So she published a book about the same time. I wanted our daughter, who at the time was like 5 or 6. She didn't publish her first book until she was 7. She's a slacker. But now she published her first book when she was 7 years old. And she became a best-selling author when she was 8 years old. And we kind of cracked the code. And so what I learned that first year, and for those of you who are listening right now, and you're thinking, well, maybe I might want to write a book, or why would I want to write a book? I'm going to give everybody a quick exercise. I want you to imagine the most money you've ever made. And if you're sitting in front of a piece of paper, write it down or put it on your phone. The most money you've ever made, and write down the number in a year. Let's say in a year. So if that's $30,000 or pounds or lira, wherever you are, write down what it is, or just imagine it in your mind. If you're driving in your car or something, don't go crazy. But now I want you to add a 0 to it. And if you do the math on that's 10xing your income. If you like that number, the most money you've ever made, and you want to put a 0 behind it, I can't promise you that that's going to happen, but I will say that happened for my wife and I in our first 12 months.
Do you equate then writing a book to business growth or business success? Do you think there's a link between those?
That's a good question. So here's the deal. Yes and no. So yes, I want to jump up on a soapbox right now and scream and yell and say yes. However, there's a caveat, because most people get this wrong. Most people don't make money with their book. The average book sells less than 2,000 copies. Most people get confused. Most entrepreneurs and many creative types who want to write books and think that you're going to get caught up in your stories. You're going to get caught up in the writing of the book. Writing your book, physically writing your book, even the example of Mike when he was talking his book into his phone, that didn't pay him a penny. Zip, zilch, 0, nothing, nada. Now there are ways to get paid to write your book, and I'm going to help everybody with that today. But no, most people don't. However, and most people, and I must have 300 plus people come to me a year who have books, and they come to me and they say, Trev, it's not working. They thought they were like Kevin Costner in the Field of Dreams, and they thought if I build it, they will come. But that is not the case. Writing your book will give you nothing if you write it the wrong way. If you write the wrong book for the wrong people, if you don't do any marketing. And I don't care whether your book is the most amazing book on the history of the world of books. Your story means nothing if nobody knows about it and nobody wants it, nobody will read it. And, like the iPhone, they've been talking about for quite a while, right? So I think the iPhone 8000 is about to come out right now. And they've been talking about that for the last 12 months. There's marketing and buzz. And the way to write a phenomenal book is to talk about it. The reason I hung you there, the first thing, Joanne, on getting on this session, I'm like, hey, you're writing your book. I'm hanging it out there. You now are screwed. Because if you don't write your book, all your whole audience now knows it. Because now you've made, through me, a public declaration for it. And now you can potentially engage and talk to your target audience and client. And you can turn even the book writing and creative process, before you pick up a pen and write a given word, you can turn this into your most powerful marketing tool if you know what to ask and what to say and how to share it and how to follow up and how to close a client. But most people are out there creating. And you know what? You are an artist. I get it. You're an amazing creator and you have phenomenal stories, but that is the wrong place to start. I'm now shooting this in this podcast in my new home in Tampa, Florida. And we just moved here from right outside of New York City. We lived in New Jersey. And this house is like a dream house for me. Not like the ultimate castle on the mountain that's beautiful or whatever, with like this cascading, infinity waterfall. But it's a pretty freaking awesome house. This house, if you were to build a dream house, and I want you to think of your book like you would a dream house. If you're to build a dream house with your own two hands, first of all, you probably wouldn't, right? You're not gonna sit down at the table and start to do the blueprint for your own house. No, you would go get some help. And too often, people will start writing their books, which I think is a phenomenal exercise. If you want to become a better communicator, fine, write to your heart's content. Get something out there, create a blog. Awesome. However, it's getting all fired up about your book. People will start writing and they'll go into their backyard, start nailing shit together. They're like, I got a hammer, and I got nails, and I can go down to Home Depot or wherever the local hardware store and buy wood, and you start nailing it together. Nothing you build in your backyard is going to go in your dream house. I don't care. That's not, and people who start with their stories and go to write it down, all their stories down. You write all these amazing stories, your life story, how you succeeded, how you failed, how you overcame adversity, your story about Martians or stories about marshmallows or stories about marshmallows on Mars. And you're like, it's so amazing. You are now creating this amazing stuff. And now you're going to try to shove it into a small hole. It's like this square peg, round hole problem. The first thing you would do if you started designing a dream house is decide that you're going to do it. Honey, do you think we should write a book? Honey, do you think you know what? That's it. We are going to build a dream house. We're going to do it. Let's do it. What's the first thing? Well, where do we want to live? You're going to decide is it going to be a single family home? Is it going to be a mansion? Is it going to be in Mexico? Is it going to be in Manhattan? Because depending on where you build your house, it's a different blueprint. And once you get clear about what you want, what the right book is, and we can talk about that again today, and I'll give everybody 4 questions to make sure you define what the right book is for you that builds your business so that they are synonymous. Only 4 questions. That's my gift to you today. But you would hire, and this is the first thing I suggested. My first story to you was to find a mentor. Somebody who has figured this out and cracked the code. I've now published 10 best-selling books. My clients are nearing about 100 books we've made bestsellers. If I use my extension of my publishing team, it's over 1,000 people we've helped go from blank page to bestseller in 90 days or less. My daughter's 10 years old and she has 9 best-selling books. See, when you find a mentor, someone to build your blueprint for your house or for your book, and you do the strategic plan for your book first before you start writing, then you can build a book that grows your business and meets your mission and builds a legacy. Then you're making money with your book. Then you're helping people. And now they're not mutually exclusive. You don't need to go on a sabbatical to write your book for 6 months. Instead, you can start writing your book right now in the middle of your busy life, and there are no more excuses. Because if Mike, and he's published now maybe a dozen books, and he's an extended member of my book launch team, if I include my mentors in this, which I do, there are no excuses. Your message matters, your experience matters, and you need to learn how to communicate that with others so you can start helping them.
But I'm also interested in your 30-day business and book challenge, and I really reckon that my listeners should go check that out. Where can they find it?
You know what? I have a link up that I didn't remember is still up. So that offer has expired.
Oh.
My newest thing, and everybody, so my newest opportunity for everybody would be to get my free book. And what you'll find if you order the paperback of the book, you have to pay for shipping, so it's like $7, and I'll do that anywhere in the world, which means I eat it. If you're going overseas, then you get it kind of, I have to pay more than that for shipping. But I give you a free ticket to my event called Epic Author Summit. And don't tell anybody yet, because I haven't actually even put it out yet. The marketing is going to start here real soon, so maybe that'll happen. But did you ever see the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Oh, my favorite movie, and I'm not joking. I love it.
Well, I just watched it again with my daughter the other day and loved it. And so I decided that for everybody who gets my book and you pay for shipping, $8, I will. I'll send you you get a golden ticket. The golden ticket is good to my 3-day event called Epic Author Summit, where I help you meet your mission, making sure that the mission and strategic plan for your book happens and you start empowering people and making money now instead of like after your book is done. I help you with turning your book into your most phenomenal marketing tool, and then I help you make money with it. And those aren't 3 different things. They're all kind of the same things, but it's 3 days. And general admission seats to this are $500. This is the first time I've had this event. You get a golden ticket, which is just like for Charlie and Chocolate Factory. It's for you and a guest. And so you get to come. That's my newest piece. Now, my expertise has been in helping people go from blank page to bestseller in 90 days or less. And I was running a promotion for a 30-day get your book done. Because here's what happens. The 90 days, I'm going to give away a little bit of the farm here, is if you get clarity around your book and you start talking to people about it, you get clarity around your messaging and you build attention and energy and buzz. Like I'm sure there are people right now that can't wait for the iPhone 8000 to come out and they're going to get it first and they're going to pre-order it. Oh my God. And they're excited. It's anticipation. It's foreplay. It's foreplay. It gets them wanting it. So you get clarity around it. You get congruent around your message more than ever. I want to say that again. Because if you do this and interact with and engage your audience while you're creating your book, you get more conviction around your own shit. Instead of feeling like you need to convince everybody about your stuff. And it's cool, man. You know, I have a marine haircut. It's more because I'm from the future and my hair's getting thinner and thinner and it's just like turning transparent. But so I keep it short so you can't see all the gray. But not everybody can see this on the video right now. But just imagine the beautiful long locks. I'm like a Fabio. I have this beautiful blonde hair scrolling down my back. No, not really. But if you're congruent with your vision for your book, you're going to close more business. You're going to start making a difference with your personal brand. You'll start to live the life that you want to live. You'll be a better parent, mother, father, daughter, whatever it is that you want to be, because you now have conviction. There's a difference between confidence and conviction. Confidence is that little engine that could, the Marine that says, let's take that hill. And he's like, and that's cool. Confidence is awesome. But confidence, if your drill instructor leaves, then you're sitting there like, I don't know that I want to take that hill. And the little engine that could, man, it's all personal willpower. I think I can. I think I can. In 6 months, trucking along, trying to get your book done to finally get to the top of the hill. You know, the little engine that could finally did. He made it. It's a good story. But what's much better is conviction. Conviction's like, you know what? You know that it's right. You know you've got a phenomenal book. You get help and it just becomes easy and effortless. You doesn't have to be this big pain in the ass and be real difficult. Conviction closes business. Conviction makes it easier. That's why we added a 10x income. And so I can't remember the damn question you asked, Joanne, but it was how to get the 30-day. The new thing is come to my event and I'm going to rock your frickin' world, because you're going to now be able to, the first 30 to 60 days, you do marketing and get clarity around your message by interacting and making money. And then you write your book in 30 days. My 30-day program, and typically 90+% of my clients get their content done for their book in 30 days or less, because they have freaking clarity. And they've already gotten paid much more than anything they've ever invested in me, because they've made a difference in other people's lives and they've impacted other people. And they have a team of people that are all excited and can't wait to get their hands on this new upcoming book. So that would be my gift, everybody. Come frickin' there. Yes, get on an airplane. Consider it my gift to you. Pay for a hotel. Show up. I'm doing it in Tampa, Florida. The event's going to be in October. And if you don't attend that one, come to the next one. I might give you a spare ticket if you register or whatnot for the next event. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet, so you better come to the first one. But that'll change your world, and then you can get your book done in 30 days or less.
Fantastic, Trevor Crane. Amazing to catch up with you. I'm totally energized, and I guess even more convinced that my book will become a reality. And that October event is kind of interesting because my deadline is the end of the year. So the timing might just be perfect.
Well, for those of you who are authors, you need to be here because you're going to learn things from me and the couple of speakers. I have my wife and one friend of mine who's a media expert on how to get free publicity in media for your business and your book and yourself. You're going to learn those strategies. And then this is really, if you're not an author yet, you must be here, because this is gonna the 2 books. You actually get 2 books when you go to trevorcrane.biz. One of them is how to write the right book, where I ask these 4 questions I still haven't given you. I'm gonna give them to you fast. They're caveman questions, simple 1-word thing. But I hold your hand on how to write the right book fast. And then the second book is Big Money with Your Book Without Selling a Single Copy. So for those of you who are smart, you'll join us and have a frickin' blast and be lit up, and you'll start making a bigger difference. 4 words: who, what, why, what's next. These are the most powerful marketing and branding tools you can possibly come up with. All of those questions have been asked and answered on the cover of every best-selling book that Tony and Tim Ferriss and everybody. Who is the book for? You need to know who it's for. You need to know what it's about so that you can describe it to another human so that they understand what it is. You need to be able to. Why has 2 parts: who, what, why. Why do people care to get the book, open it, read it, and apply anything? There's 2 things: problems and results. What are the problems they're facing? That's why they would care. And what are the results that they might get from this book? Who, what, why. And then the most important question that nobody ever asks or answers is what's next, which is the core element of what are you going to move them to next? Your book is bait. You should get an email. You should book a phone call with them, get them on your webinar, and sell them your awesome stuff. There we go.
Trevor Crane, I don't think I can say any more. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you virtually, but I feel like you've been in my kitchen for this interview.
Well, I saw family back there cooking things and doing stuff. Dead Wisp was interactive. You got it. So great to finally connect with you. And if anybody wants to reach out and ask a question, follow me on some social media, something, and send me some love or hate, whichever you prefer.
And I will add all the links on the blog post associated with this podcast.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shout-outs to brands, organizations, or individuals whose work online is remarkable and worth talking about. But in this week's show, I'm sharing 3 tips on how to scale your personal brand online.
1.
We all react to stories. Did you know your brain is hardwired to remember stories? You've got to craft your me story. When going online, people will buy from you. Start off with figuring out what is your story and what are the points that people will resonate with. I'm currently doing this as I develop my online business, and I have to say there's a number of versions of the JSB story.
2.
You've heard me speak frequently about developing your digital footprint. Your digital footprint is your legacy online. What do you want people to find out about you when they Google you, when they search for you on social networks, when they read your blog posts? Make sure you have your own domains across the web and social. Google yourself to assess your current digital footprint. Is it good enough? If not, improve it. You can control the internet to a certain extent. Did you know you can also buy your own .live domain? I've got Joanne.live. Think about the future role of video in online marketing and how powerful it will become.
3,
I remember a meeting with a former bank manager and he asked me about my business model. I told him I sold my IP, my intellectual property, and that my business didn't carry much stock and it had low overheads. His response floored me. He said, "It's not like selling TVs, is it? I mean, you buy them for one price and you sell them for another price, you add your margin and you make profit." So let me explain what I sell. My knowledge is a combination of old communications traditions with new digital technologies, which gives me a 360-degree view of how marketing in the digital age should be approached, developed, and implemented. So, what is your sellable product?
Ask JSB.
Ask JSB brings the voices of my listeners onto the show. So you now have an opportunity to ask me a question, have it aired on the podcast, and I will respond. If you want to hear your question on JSB Talks Digital, simply log on to digitaltraininginstitute.ie/askjsb. Today's question is from Helena Gilhooly, and she wants to know, is my personal brand scalable online?
Hi, it's Helena here from Busy Beaters. I'm just wondering, is my personal brand scalable online? Thank you.
Hey Helena, thank you so much for your question and really appropriate for today's show. Quite simply, I would say the answer is yes, if you fit the following criteria. If you have a service or a knowledge product or a product that solves a problem or that adds value. You should have identified a target market. You must have the digital infrastructure to deliver that product or service online. You should also have backup resources to invest in delivering the product to a mass market through online marketing. You've also got to ask yourself, do I add value or does my product or service produce a result for my clients? And finally, like everything in business, you must have the tenacity to stick with it. Allow yourself to fall and even to fail, but make sure you get back up again.
JSB's column.
In today's column, I'm giving you some sound JSB advice. Why be somebody else when your uniqueness is you? I'm going to talk about leveraging the power of you to build an online business. I've already spoken about crafting your me story. This is your why in building your online business. Don't get distracted by others who are in the same field as you. Sure, you can look at their approach and their strategies, but please don't try to emulate them. Fear nothing. Don't let the fear of not knowing stop you. Once you make a decision to build an online business that has you at the centre, you will figure out the rest of it. Engage your community for answers. They are there to help and support you. They've done it already. And trust me, if you ask, they will respond. After all, they follow you for you. Trust in your gut. If you think a program or a knowledge product that you are developing is not the right fit for you or for your target audience, let it go. But a word of caution here. Test it with your target market first. As I just mentioned to Helena, don't be afraid to fall or even fail. In actual fact, it is when you lose that you learn most. I'm actually going through this process right now as I work on my own online business. So I'm actually sharing my real life experiences, feelings, fears, and scenarios with you. But the one thing that I'm absolutely sure about is that I am me. I am JSB. And I will develop and launch knowledge products that customers want to buy from me. It is the I and my why that will help me shine online. So the moral of this column is that our uniqueness is one of the key determining factors that will differentiate us online. Don't underestimate you.
Social media tool of the week.
The social media tool that saved my working week this week is Facebook benchmarking tool from Social Bakers. Do you want to see how your Facebook page measures up to your top competitors or the biggest influencers in your industry? Well, here's how it works. Just type the name of your company's Facebook page or paste the Facebook page address as well as that of your competitor into the display box. Social Bakers will deliver your custom social media performance report in minutes into your inbox. The results show how your page ranks compared to that of your competitor on the following: audience by country, audience growth in the past month, posting frequency, audience engagement, and content. I absolutely love this tool. Please take a look at it. You can find out more at socialbakers.com/free-social-tools. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of JSB Talks Digital. To ensure you never miss a show, please subscribe on your smartphone. You'll find it on iTunes, Stitcher, and also on SoundCloud. As always, I have everything discussed on today's show over on my blog at digitaltraining.ie. Please don't be a social media stranger. You'll find me all over the social networks, and I'd love your feedback. Send me a tweet to @tweetsbyJSB. Send me a snap to JSB Snaps. I'm on Instagram as JSB Grams, or post a little post or a message on our Facebook page, Digital Training Institute. I'm Joanne Sweeney Burke. This is JSB Talks Digital. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.
JSB Talks Digital.